Welcome to the Sun-Dried Tomatoes channel. Today I asked the questions, did you know that European football or soccer teams used to make songs to commemorate their qualifying for the FA Cup final? And did you know that these songs ended up in the top of the Pop's Top 100 UK music charts year after year? The Football Association Challenge Cup, or the Emirates FA Cup, better known as just the FA Cup, is an annual knockout football competition in men's English football that started during the 1871-72 season. This season, Chelsea faced off with Leicester City in the final this past Saturday. Chelsea is also in the Champions League final this season and is in a race for the top four in the Premier League, with both roads leading to another Champions League berth for next season. But the winner of the FA Cup usually qualifies for the Europa League the following season if they haven't already made it to the Champions League. The Europa League is the second tier of European competition between some of the best from many of these countries' top leagues, like Spain's La Liga, Italy's Serie A, and of course the Premier League in England. The Champions League, of course, is reserved for the best teams, while the Europa League is for the teams just a step down. The FA Cup is considered a domestic cup in England. Any eligible club from the Premier League, English Football League, and teams in the National League system can compete. The record is 763 teams that competed during the 2011-2012 season, but the tournament isn't actually seeded regardless of league and level. Some teams do get buys to later rounds based on where they are, but teams need to win anywhere from 6 to 14 games to win the FA Cup. In its heyday, the FA Cup was essentially a national holiday. The final was the only game at Wembley Stadium in the tournament from 1923 to 1991. Families would have gatherings, there would be media coverage all day long. After the final, children would go out and kick soccer balls around to emulate what they had just seen. It was a celebration, a time of memories, a time of fun. If your team was in it, if you wanted to root against your rival or for the underdog, it didn't matter. Fans picked a side and watched the game with a lot of joy or despair, depending on the result. You can read some of these stories and blogs and YouTube videos. I've put some of the links in the description below. They're pretty interesting. For us in the United States, I would probably compare this to the Super Bowl with how everybody gathers, regardless of the teams that are playing. However, people in England actually watched the game and were probably more vested regardless of which team was playing. That's how big European football was, especially in England. And then there were the FA Cup final songs, which I opened with here in this video, a tradition where teams that made the finals would come out with their own songs, and players from those teams would actually be singing on the tracks. There were many songs from 1970 to 2000, but the tradition has since died off with just 2 official songs since 2000, though there are some unofficial fan songs that pop up every once in a while. After going through this history, I really wish this tradition would come back and more celebrity fans would get involved and make something good. But just watching football teams singing and celebrating shows off the amazing spectacle that is European football. The history, the fandom, the derbies. Nothing compares. I think us Americans actually got shafted by not being a part of some of this history, or at least knowing about it earlier. Not much is online about where the FA Cup final song tradition came from, but the England World Cup team of 1970 is one theory. That team created the song Back Home, written by Bill Martin and and Phil Coulter. The song reached number 1 in the UK singles charts and even reached number 2 in Ireland. That same year in the FA Cup final, you got Chelsea's Blue is the Colour. This is a cup final where Chelsea won 2-1 over Leeds United, and this song ended up reaching number 5 in the UK charts and number 8 in England. The song was also played in the League Cup final in 1972 for Chelsea, though they lost that game to Stoke City. But while many look at that song as one of the top ones in terms of European football songs, I've compiled my own top 7 after spending hours listening to these tracks. I know, crazy, right? And finding out which ones made me laugh or were actually pretty catchy. And despite now being an Everton FC fan, I'm going to rank these based on my ears, not on my fandom. And definitely not on the teams I don't like, because I don't know if anybody would make this list. Some honorable mentions include the only FA Cup final song to hit number 1 in the UK charts. That's Manchester United's Come On You Reds from 1994. Also, I think Coventry City's Go For It isn't bad, especially with its 3-2 win over Tottenham Hotspurs in 1987. Leeds from Leeds United's 1972 FA Cup Dream Season is another honorable mention. Also, I have to give props to the Newcastle United song from 1998, written by Sting, Bringing the Pride Back Home. Yeah, that's right. Written by Sting. That's how crazy these FA Cup final songs get. And while most of these songs are not songs you will listen to unless you're a fan of the team, you can appreciate how well some of them were created, especially with some of the players actually having some decent vocals. I mean, let's be honest, some of these guys belt out some good tunes. Starting with number 7 on my list, of course, you're probably laughing, but I bring you Everton's 1995 FA final song, All Together Now by The Far. I know you're saying, I thought you said you weren't going to put stuff as a fan. I actually like this song. Produced by Graham Suggs McPherson of the band Madness, this track peaked at number 24 on the UK charts, probably with a boost from Everton's 1-0 win over Manchester United in the actual final that season. The original lyrics were written about the German and English troops coming together to play a game of football at Christmas 1914 during World War I. Peter Hooton wrote the song and said it's about unity and humanity. Hilariously, The Farm is a band that actually support Everton's rivals, Liverpool, which I find even more entertaining. Although Everton does tend to lose to Liverpool in some of these old school FA Cup finals, for me, I like the message and the overall feeling of the song. I'm guessing Everton fans back in 1995 had goosebumps listening to this track for the first time, and they probably all sang it as soon as the final result was known. Of course, the 1985 song, Here We Go, is still a stadium chant. Though Everton lost that FA Cup final that season, I still like All Together Now just a little bit better. Coming in at number 6, I bring you Liverpool FC's 1988 FA Cup final anthem, the Anfield Rap, Red Machine in full effect. This track was co-written by Paul Gainford, Liverpool midfielder Craig Johnston, rapper Derek B, and Mary Biker from Gay Bikers on Acid. It is a fun parody song from hip-hop songs of the era, and it ended up peaking at number 3 on the UK singles chart, which is amazing, with Liverpool actually losing that FA Cup final 1-0 to Wimbledon. John Aldridge and Steve McMahon making fun of their teammates' accents is a pretty amazing bit on the track, as they were just 2 of only 3 Liverpool natives in the lineup at that time. Many websites ripped this song. I actually enjoyed it. It is funny. You can tell the players are having a lot of fun. It even has a Beatles homage from Twist and Shout. Just remember that they don't just play, but they can rap as well. And if anyone could do it, Macca can. At number 5, Tottenham Hotspur's 1981 FA Cup anthem, Aussie's Dream, Spurs are on their way to Wembley, makes my list. Chas and Dave helped make this track, with Dave Peacock writing most of the track. It ended up reaching number 5 on the UK singles chart, again likely aided by the Spurs 3-2 win over Manchester City in the replay of the FA Cup final, as the first game ended in a draw. Chas and Dave, of course, were big fans of Tottenham Hotspur, but the song is a song that just makes me want to have a pint and sing pub songs with friends. Just delicious pints and pub songs. It is a nice musical composition, and the players belt out their tune in a very fun way. Again, the best part of these FA Cup final songs is the overall good feeling that they convey, and I just feel like I want to go drinking with friends with this one. Moving on to number 4, this is another controversial pick. Ipswich, Ipswich, get that goal from Ipswich Town FC for the 1978 FA Cup final. Most bloggers hate this song and think it is the worst piece of garbage ever created. You should read some of these just horrible reviews by people. I didn't even find information if it did well in the charts that year, to be honest, but Ipswich Town did defeat Arsenal 1-0 in the FA Cup final that year. I actually love this song because it is essentially made by just the Ipswich Town team. No guests appear, and it is just a fun-loving wannabe rock reggae track that actually seems kind of chill with a harmonica and some decent vocals. And I'm guessing Ipswich Town players and fans were so excited during this season. Right now, this football club is actually in the 3rd tier of the English Football League system, playing in League One. The club did make the first division in 1961 and were actually crowned champions of the Football League that season, but they kind of went up and down for a while. They did reach the FA Cup semifinals in 1975 before losing to eventual champion West Ham United. But 1978 was when Ipswich Town won the club's only FA Cup final, and they gave us this track. It really shows off some happiness in my mind, and it seems feel good enough for me to put this track here on my list. A surprise number 3, as some have this higher on their lists, I bring you the 1975 West Ham United anthem, I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. This is now an anthem for fans at West Ham matches and actually was recorded being sung by fans in the 1940s and was played by marching bands there in the 1920s. This song peaked at number 31 on the UK charts in 1975, and a punk cover by the Cockney Rejects reached number 35 in 1980. The song is actually an American song from 1918 with music by John Coletti and lyrics by James Candace, James Brockman, and Nat Vincent. The West Ham version in 1975 has a fun tune and some good player vocals, as well as a pretty ripping bass line, almost Beatles-like, and the break near the end is a nice little synth riff. I can see why some have this as their favorite track, and it obviously was a part of a West Ham season where they hoisted the FA Cup after a 2-0 win over Fulham. Probably the biggest surprise on my list is this number 2 pick, Viva El Fulham from Fulham FC, also from 1975. Like I said above, Fulham lost to West Ham United this year, but maybe they can feel a little bit better now that I think their FA Cup final song was a little better. Tony Rees and the Cottagers helped with this song, and it actually reached number 46 in the UK charts, though it quickly fell after the loss to West Ham United. As an Italian and someone who listened to a lot of Dean Martin and Louis Prima growing up, I quickly was dancing around to this track. It's a kind of a bummer that Fulham lost, and I think that that's probably what made this song not featured on many of the top FA Cup final song lists that I was reading. But please tell me you don't want to dance around and drink out of a giant beer stein when you listen to this. It's super fun. The lyrics are pretty fun, and you can tell that the players had a blast making the song. I also love the Monty Python-esque singing on some parts. If Fulham won the FA Cup this season, I have a feeling it would be much higher on lists, but I could care less. This is a clear number 2, and I really had to think about what was going to be number 1. But probably not a surprise at all, my number 1 FA Cup final song is Blue Day for Chelsea FC from 1997. Another track with Graham Suggs McPherson involved. This one is actually an amazing composition made by Suggs and Company. The players get in on the chorus, but Chelsea fan Suggs takes center stage. The music is catchy and nice, the vocals are great, and the players are definitely having fun, as seen in the music video. You should check it out. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd have this song playing all the time. It's actually pretty good. Like the other songs on the list, there's a lot of positivity in the track, and it really is one of the most original FA Cup final songs ever. It reached number 22 on the UK charts that season, and Chelsea won 2-0, so it definitely was a blue day. Thanks for watching and liking. Go ahead and list your own favorite FA Cup final songs in the comments and give me praise or give me grief about my choices. Next week, I'll continue with European football or soccer and go over some of the best Champions League matches of all time. That should be fun. Please subscribe to the Sun-Dried Tomatoes channel for more content like this, plus some new sports and brewing shows coming out in the next few months. Also, check out the Sun-Dried Tomatoes monthly podcast, which is now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. My friend Javi and I talk about the European Super League fallout after it was announced and after it failed in the first episode that is already out right now. The second episode drops on Memorial Day and is a conversation about fantasy American football and brewing with my friend John Puchalski, who is a brewmaster at Union Corners Brewery in Madison, Wisconsin.